User-defined fields, or UDFs, are custom fields that can be added to almost any table in Sage 100. Let's take a few minutes to look at adding some of these UDFs to our tables. First thing we want to do is come into our Custom Office module and go to User-Defined Field and Table Maintenance. From there, we want to find the module that we want to add it to. In this case, we're going to go to our Accounts Receivable, and we want to find the table Customer Master. I'm going to click on this and go to Edit Fields. And we're going to add a new field. In my example, we're going to add something called Delivery Frequency. You can see it automatically places a UDF in front of the field name. In this case, it's a manual entry, meaning it's something that our users are going to enter, and I'm going to click OK. It brings me to our options screen here. And in my case here, I want it to be a drop-down. And I'm going to click on the validation box to put in what I want as my options. First, I'm going to give an NA for not available. And then I'm going to give my options for the drop-down. I also have a data source, so if I wanted to bring in data from another table or another application, I could. But in this case, I'm just going to click OK. From here, I'm going to click OK for the changes to be made. Now, this has to be done when nobody is in the system, so I'm going to click OK. And it's going to run through and make the changes. Now, let's add a field that's going to move data from our AR invoice entry to the AR invoice history. I've already come in and added into my AR invoice header a field called Technician. Now what I want to do is I want to pass that data when we run the sales journal over to the history tables. To do that, the very first thing I have to do is come into our AR transaction posting. Here I'm going to add a new field called Technician. I'm going to choose the AR sales journal, but if you're using the sales order, you would use the sales order journal. I'm going to use my AR invoice header table, and in the drop-down, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom where I see my UDF Technician. Click OK. It brings up the same validation, but this time I'm limited to some of my settings based off of the field that I'm bringing in. If I click on data sources, you can see I can also add additional data sources if I needed to. I'm going to click OK and hit OK. Now that I've added the field to the AR transaction posting table, I now can come back into my AR invoice history header table and add the field there. In this case, it'll be a business object, and I'm going to say I want to pull it in from the AR sales journal and the AR transaction posting table. Scroll down my list till I see my UDF, click OK. Again, I can come in and add additional data sources if needed, but in this case, I'm just going to click OK. And that is two examples of how we can add a UDF to a table and also pass that data from one table, entry table, to a history table. Thank you very much.